So I've had a lot of questions, requests, comments about the fact that I, as a school garden coordinator, do not garden at a lot of my gardens over the summer. I cover crop with organic buckwheat over the summer. If you're going to plant a summer cover crop, what you're going to do, normally I would have the students do this, but since I have my phone out here to take a video, I'm just going to do this myself. Normally what I would have the students do is with hand rakes, kind of fluff up the soil, get it just ready. So what I'm just going to do right here is just start raking it, just get it nice and smoothed out. Just going to be careful with my irrigation tubes here. Now, of course, I'd usually do both sides of the bed, but today, for this video, I'm just gonna do this one side. So I've fluffed it up. I've got the soil all prepared. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my, my cover crop here, this is buckwheat. What I would do if I had students with me is I'd give each student about a little handful of this, and then you just kind of lightly sprinkle it on. See, it's called broadcasting. So here I am, broadcasting seeds. Students are really good at this. Little kids have a harder time. They'll just end up throwing their whole handful in one spot. But older kids seem to understand this broadcasting pretty well. So you just broadcast your seeds, and then you just like lightly mix them in. So I'm just lightly making sure they're covered, making sure they're a little bit under the soil here. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can also do this if you are not having students help you or are not doing it by hand. You can just lightly rake the cover crop in. Now this whole area is prepped. The drip line that I've got is not going to be enough to water the cover crop if it's broadcast. The drip line just is not going to spread out enough. So I prefer to plant early where the cover crop can get established just during the natural spring rains. If that's not an option, then bring your class out, get everyone involved, and try to just get the seeds established by hand watering them. By the time the plants are tall enough to create a living mulch to cover most of the soil, the drip tape will be plenty to keep them alive and will keep the soil moist enough. It's just when you're getting them established that you have to really worry about watering them in. If I have a school garden that has, say, 16 beds, and I know that it's just going to be myself, maybe a handful of parents, and maybe 1 or 2 teachers that are going to work on the summer maintenance, I'll cover crop half or more of the beds to really just reduce the burden on ourselves and on my volunteers. I'll do a couple beds that have some of those fun summer crops like peppers and tomatoes, cucumbers, and then a lot of the beds will cover crop. We'll do a couple beds maybe that have pumpkins, but the cover crops really just help to make the whole garden a lot smaller and easier to maintain, and just way more manageable during the summer. It really just gives us a chance to take a vacation during the summer, take a load off. The other great thing about cover crops is that by giving you some space and by giving you a break from the summer garden maintenance, it gets you really excited about the fall and winter maintenance and gardens, which is when the kids are here. So a lot of times you'll burn out by the end of summer and you won't want to put your beets or your broccoli in October or September. But if you haven't worked in your garden all year, you get excited again. And just like you get excited in January when you're ordering seeds, same thing happens in the fall, gets you stoked, gets you excited, gives you just a nice rest from the garden for the summer.